Hi, and welcome back to another Evolve to Win show. This is episode 98.
And we have 3 questions for you that are absolutely guaranteed to increase your results, increase your success in life, in business, in any area. You ready for them?
I am.
Question number 1. You might want to get a pen and paper. Do you have your pen and paper? You're just gonna.
I don't need it. I'm just
gonna.
No, I'm gonna cheat off of your notes.
Okay. Question number 1. What do you need to start doing? So as you think about question number 1, you can think of the different areas in your life where you want increased success. And just ask yourself, what do I need to start doing? I want you to think about the habits that you have currently and maybe where you could improve upon those habits. So as an example, I know that you're a huge fan of playing tennis. What do you need to start doing if you wanted to improve your tennis game?
I need to start working on the areas of my game that need the most work.
Okay, so give me an example. What is the number one area of your game that if you could improve would take your playing to the next level?
Probably my backhand.
Okay. All right. And so if you want to improve your backhand in this next quarter, let's say, what do you need to start doing?
I just need to start practicing more.
Okay. And so how would you do that? Like, who would you practice with? Where would you go? Are you talking about lessons, clinics?
Well, you and I practice, yeah. And then we're starting to take some clinics and but just I think the most important thing is, and it's just like anything in life, it's what you focus on is what actually you'll start to see the changes. So if you have many things that you're focused on, especially if we're just talking about, in this example, tennis, if I'm focused on my overhead and my serve and my forehand and my backhand, and I'm not really focusing on one particular area, that it generally won't get better fast.
Okay.
And so, just focusing in on that.
Okay, good. So that's what you're going to start doing, is really focusing on improving your backhand. And so when we go out and we do practice, there will be some period of time where you're just specifically focused on the backhand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so just so people that are joining us or whatever, again, tell us why these 3 questions you feel, Heather, are the most important questions that anybody can ask themselves.
Well, only if you want to get better results. So I think one of the reasons that we struggle to get better results in any area is that we don't stop long enough to think about, well, what can we do? What habits can we change to get better results? And it's all about our habits. I mean, really, it comes down to what are your daily habits that are producing your current results. So if you want better results, all you have to do is examine and shift some habits. And so we're giving you the top 3 questions that you can answer that are going to make the biggest difference. And the first question is, what do I need to start doing? And again, you can look at any area. We gave an example in tennis, but if we were to talk about business, let's say that you are in sales as an example. And I think if you're in business, we're all in sales at some level. What do you need to start doing to improve your results in sales? And you literally can fill in the blank with so many different strategies, right? But what if, as an example, in the first quarter, you decided that you really, really wanted to build upon your client base that you love, your ideal clients, right? The ones who you just really enjoy working with. Maybe what you need to start doing is to talk more with those ideal clients about potential referrals, because we know that like people hang out with like people. So if you want to increase the base of clientele that you love the most, start talking with those particular clients and expanding upon that network through a proactive referral strategy would be a good example.
Yeah, and I think what happens in a lot of cases, especially for salespeople, is that they choose several different strategies, 3, 4, 5 different strategies, and they try to implement them all at the same time, and it becomes overwhelming. And especially if it's something that you're building on on a daily basis, that it can just get completely overwhelming, and then you just get burnt out, and it just isn't working as well as you want it to. But in this example, for a salesperson, creating or adopting a great referral program and then instituting that as your one focus thing that you want to take on. So continue doing what you've already been doing, but if you really want to see a difference in sales, a referral program may be the way that you can do that, and put that in place. Work on that. Make that your main focus. and then build that out from there. So that's one of the things that you can
One
start doing.
Great example. So that's an idea of what you can start doing. How about a relationship example? What could you start doing to build upon some of your most important relationships that you have? So one of the examples that I think is such a great example, I've had clients take this on before and have amazing success, is starting to get more intentional about the quality of time spent with their children. So instead of just having your normal routine, that there are certain times of the week where there's actually an activity planned where maybe there's no technology and there's a certain conversation, or there's a special, unique, and different outing, right? Something that you do, some event that you attend, something that you create. But it's just about starting to get more intentional with the planning in advance of the quality of time that you spend with anyone, for that matter. I remember that one time we did a technology-free evening. We've done it once, and it was awesome. I can tell you exactly where we were. Do you remember where we were?
No.
We were at the wine cave.
Oh, we did, yeah.
That was the one day that we did that experiment, and it was so super cool. And it was like, it was so unique and different that I remember we couldn't even take pictures, and we really wanted to take pictures, but we were not on cell phones.
Man, so what if that was something that you guys took on, was for one evening, of the week.
One evening
every
per
week, you have one evening in the week where it's a technology-free evening. Could you imagine that?
No technology from, let's just say, when you're done with work at whatever time, 5, 6 o'clock, until the next morning. What if you did that? What would that look like? And what would you do with yourself? What if that meant no technology also meant no television?
And have you ever done that before? And what were the results? Did you like
it?
Fun.
You might have to talk to me if we did that.
Yeah.
That could
All
be
right,
interesting.
so let's move on to the next one,
Next
which
question is,
what is it
that you need to stop doing? So this is another question. It's a very different question. I want you to be thinking about the habits potentially that are holding you back right now, or maybe that are not serving you so well. So what do you need to stop doing? Do you have one that comes to mind immediately? You said it before we started this.
Well, I really don't want to talk about this, but I'll bring it up since you put me on the spot. But in a lot of cases, I am, believe it or not, if you're listening to this, I am more of a glass half empty guy than I am the half full. So I lean a little bit more negative, and I find that is generally not a good disposition to be in all the time. And so what I've been finding is that that looking at things in a more positive manner has really helped me get in a better frame of mind. And also our little trick, which we'll tell you at the end, which is a what do you call it?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't want to give up the secret of our Altheanine.
Oh, you might as well.
But it will bring that up as well. But that was kind of but just going back to what things that I need to stop doing is probably not complaining as much.
Yeah. Okay, good. So this is a really interesting one to think about. What is it that you complain about in your world? Because it tends to be that whatever our complaints are nothing more than just habitual thought patterns, right? So you're just in the habit of looking at something in a more negative way. And usually that complaint is just being repeated again and again and again. So be thinking about this, because I think all of us, if we look hard enough, we'll find areas where complaints exist in our lives. So what would it be like if you actually gave that up? If you intentionally decided to stop with whatever that pervasive complaint is in your world? So I think that's a good one. Now, you brought something up and you kind of dropped it, and people are like, what the heck is he talking about? And I think we just need to share that right now. Yeah. This was something that we found, I guess, was it in the fourth quarter? It was recent. Anyways, the last few months or so. We learned about a supplement that is actually a natural stress-relieving amino acid that has been absolutely incredible.
And you can get it at, we get it at Sprouts. You can probably get it at Publix. You can get it anywhere, but I never heard of it before. And so And I'm telling you, I swear this has been a life changer for me personally. It's an amino acid called Altheanine. It's L and then hyphen and then however you spell theanine.
Theanine, Theanine,
We'll put it in the notes.
but we will add it to the notes.
But what I found for me, the way that it affects me is that it just it gives me so much more clarity. It really lifted the kind of the cloudiness that I had in my brain, and just wasn't seeing things clearly, and just was kind of feeling a lot of negativity. And for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, and I don't know why it works so well, but for me personally, it like has totally lifted that fog that I've just been in for such a long time. And, and I think that there's probably certain things, we're all individuals, and we all have certain things in our body makeup, and there's certain things that affect us much differently from other things, and for how it affects other people. But for me, it was recommended by a friend of ours. And
thank you, Becky Sharon.
Yeah, Becky Sharon recommended it to me, and I was just telling her just how negative I was feeling all the time, and just didn't feel good, and had this fogginess and cloudiness, and just couldn't figure it out. And she recommended it, and it was almost immediate from the time that I started taking it. So we just pick it up at Sprouts. It's a great supplement.
And I would just say that probably not all brands are created equally, because it is a nutraceutical.
Yeah.
And so making sure that you have a brand that is very well trusted makes a difference as well. So I just got a recommendation from the clerk at Sprouts for the one that we use, and I take it too now. After I watched what happened with Paul and how it just took the edge off, I was like, "Who are you? I want some of that."
So if you don't,
our entire tennis team, I think, is on it now.
Yeah. So if you don't think that your husband or wife or person that you're in a relationship, they're just running a little negative, you might want to just throw a little Altheanine in their coffee in the morning.
Or just running a little stressed out. Or the other thing is, it really helps with sleep too. So,
yeah, totally.
So if you ever struggle getting a full night's sleep, I know that one of our friends who started taking it was down to like 4 hours of sleep per night, and was really, really struggling with it. And she's now said that she's up to 7 hours a night, like back-to-back nights, which is unheard of.
Yeah,
So
totally.
Anyway, that's just a little maybe start.
So we got sidetracked there, but it definitely is worth it. If you have not tried it and you kind of feel like what I was talking about, you may want to give that a shot.
And by the way, we're not sponsored to do this.
Yeah.
Although if there's a good healthy
I wouldn't normally
recommend
recommend anything, but it's worked so well for me that I definitely would recommend it to people who are feeling that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so first question was, what do you need to start doing? Second question, what do you need to stop doing? And the last question is, what do you need to do more of? So you think about this. Those three questions can be absolutely magic for you, because what they're forcing you to do is just kind of examine what's working and what's not working. What are the habits that are serving you? What are the habits that aren't serving you? And there's some times where we have really, really good there are good actions that we take or good strategies that we implement, but maybe we're just not consistent enough with them. So that's the catch-all third bucket, is what do you need to do more of? Mm-hmm. So think about the things that maybe you've started implementing, but maybe haven't done it as consistently as you want to. So this is also one of those areas to look at, what has brought success for me? What works really well? And you know what you need to do. It's never a matter of not knowing what you need to do. Most of the time, we know exactly what we need to do. We just need to do more of it. And so these could be tied together. Number 3 and number 2 could be tied together. So if I need to do more of, again, if I'm in sales, maybe it's prospecting or connecting with existing clients. If it's if I'm in leadership, maybe I need to be connecting more with my direct reports and really, really understanding what matters to them and what their goals are and what their vision is, things like that. So maybe the thing you need to do more of, the reason you're not doing is because you're too busy with other things. Go back and see number 2, what do you need to stop doing? I mean, literally, part of the reason that we struggle with getting to that next level is just because we've developed habits that are keeping us right where we are. So that's why all 3 of these questions kind of go together, and they're really important. So if you're struggling doing more of something, or even saying yes to something, like here's what I need to start doing, then really focus on that number 2 and figure out what you need to say no to. Because my guess is if you're like Paul or me or any of the clients who we work with, there are things that are on your plate that maybe you shouldn't be doing. And maybe things that you're doing currently that just aren't serving you so well. And if you can figure out what those are and just commit to getting rid of them, then you're going to free up some time to start doing things that really matter. So
did you answer?
What do you want to do more of?
What is the thing that you want to do more of?
Well, I mean, this kind of maybe sounds kind of silly, but I want to write more handwritten notes. Uh-huh. And I really thought about that because this year, as I was writing out some of my Christmas cards, I recognized that I used to be really good at writing handwritten notes. Like when I would see somebody at a networking event, or when I met somebody for the first time, I would always drop them a note and just say, like something about the conversation we had, or just acknowledging them. And I got out of the practice of that. And as I was writing these notes and just feeling what it felt like to write them, and kind of thinking about what it would be like to receive a personalized note, I know for me, every single time I receive a handwritten note these days, it's so unique and so unusual that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you took the time. It's such a big deal.
Yeah.
So I want to do more of that this year. I want people to feel what that feels like, to have someone really take the time and share a handwritten note. I don't know. Is that weird?
No, that's a good one.
Yeah. So that's mine. What about you? What do you want to do more of?
I think I want
compliment
to
your wife.
Yeah. I think more supporting you in business, and just I think we've had a really good year this last year in 2019, and I think just doing more of that. I think I kind of turned the corner as far as just feeling really good about where we are in the business and the things that made it work. And so there's several things that I know really helped. A lot of it had to do with just my attitude and really just supporting you and taking on more responsibility in the business, and just doing some other things. So things like that.
So that's awesome. And Paul, you really, really did turn a corner this year, I think, in just how engaged you are. I mean, I don't know, for those of you who are watching and listening regularly, if you've seen a difference too, but I can tell you that just your excitement and your enthusiasm about doing the Facebook Lives and doing the podcast and the Win the Quarter and everything that we've put on is at a completely different level. So I appreciate how engaged you are and excited. So the other thing that's really cool about do more of, I don't know how many of you set New Year's resolutions. It's really about that time. It's coming up here, and you may be really thinking about that. And most people think about New Year's resolutions as, what do I need to change? Like, if we were to cut through it all, they'd be like, where do I suck and where do I need to be better, right? Yeah. And so you start from this negative place and thinking of like, I don't like this, so I need to change this. And it's really, really powerful to shift that thinking to, what do I need to do more of? Like, where are things already good, but I can make them even better? Where you start from a place of gratitude and acknowledging yourself for how far you've come, or even if you've even made a little bit of effort and you know that that's a good thing and you want to continue down that path. This is a really great mindset to start any goal setting. And quite frankly, it's the only mindset that really, truly works, is starting from a place of gratitude for what you already have and what you've already accomplished, and looking at, how can I get more of this? So to recap,
if you want better results,
if you want better results, more success, a life that you love, ask these 3 questions, and ask them of yourself regularly. But definitely at the end of the year or end of the decade, it's a great time to ask, what do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? And what do I need to do more of? And by the way, if you want to sort of limit yourself or get more narrowly focused with these questions, you can think about them in different areas of your life. So you might say, okay, in my personal world, what do I need to start doing, stop doing, and do more of? Mm-hmm. In my professional world, start doing, stop doing, and do more of. In my relationships, right? So
yeah, we kind of covered those in this.
3 good categories.
We talked a little bit about tennis. We talked about work stuff. We talked about an example with salespeople, relationships. Yeah.
Yeah. So just be thinking, where do you want results? What are the next level results that are hello? What are the next level results that are important for you? When you ask yourself those 3 questions, you might just identify something that you actually already know, but maybe haven't made that decision or that commitment to go do it. So I hope that you found this episode helpful. Would love to hear, if you're willing to, comment. What are you going to start doing, stop doing, and do more of? Because one of the really cool things when you share this in and you read other people's comments as well is it helps to give ideas. That's one of the reasons I love doing some of these group exercises, because you'll hear something, you'll go, oh my God, that's a great idea. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to start doing that too. We call that market research in the adult world, and it's totally okay. So feel free to comment, share this if you like this message, you know somebody else wants to hear it. If you have not yet subscribed to us on your favorite podcast app, please do. And again, Win the Quarter. Our live session's actually coming up on Wednesdays, so registration for that closes today. If you haven't already signed up, you can go to winthequarter.com. You can find the free 3-part series that will help you set every goal meaningful for you in 2020. And that's all free. That's a 3-part series that's free for you to help you get the clarity and focus that you need in 2020. And for those of you who do want to join us for the live session, it closes out today, so don't forget to register.
So thanks for joining us for another Evolve to Win show, episode 98. We hope you have a great day.
Have an awesome day.
Bye now.